Another nice day here in the Isles. It's gotten quite quiet. Nothing new has broken out around the area because of my obvious hard work in keeping my fellow dragons aligned. So it appears that I'm rather bored in this open space of mine. I wonder where my assistant has gone off to. Oh, assistant! Ah, there you are. Are you ready for another eventful day obeying all my orders? No need to answer that. I know you are. However, things will be a little different this time. What do I mean? Well, I've always been commanding you to do certain tasks all this time, and yet I don't know much about you, and you don't know much about me. So, why not change that this time around? You know, to get to know each other more and be more acquainted. That way, I don't have to waste time explaining everything I want, how I want it, and you don't have to be worried about getting fired. Win-win situation here, don't you think? I never said it would be an equal win, did I? So, what do you think? Do we have a deal? Great. You never had a choice anyway. Oh dear. I'm feeling a bit peckish. Could you prepare me a nice salad with hibiscus vinaigrette, of course? This time I will follow you into the kitchen. That way you'll have nice company around you while you assemble my meal. Well, I know your name, so there's no need for that introduction a second time. However, in case you may have forgotten in the many times that I have been called boss or king for today, and today only, you may refer to me as Viles. It's always a pleasure for you to be working for me, right? Of course it is. You have your own bedroom, bathroom, and shared community kitchen and dining room. You're the lucky few who get to keep their bedroom door. The last few servants lost that privilege. It would be best to avoid the reasons now. Just thinking about it makes my throat burn up. Yes, my throat burns up. Is that a bad thing? Ah, no. It's not a sore throat. I breathe fire. Whenever I start to feel angry and my throat begins to burn, I have it under control, for the most part. But when faced with conversations about events that make my blood boil, I cannot resist the urge to let out the flame once in a while. Have you forgotten that I am a half-human, half-dragon king? Not only do I have abilities to communicate with humans like you, but also the full-blooded dragons that roam around the Isles. How else could you have walked around the area without getting eaten in one piece? I commanded them to leave you be and remind them that you are one of them, despite your obvious differences in appearance, such as the lack of dragon scales, a long pointed tail, and horns. I believe I am owed a thank you or a sign of gratitude. Impeccable timing. To that I say, you are most welcome. My dearest servant. Remarkable. As always. You always surpass my expectations. And also, did you add more of my favorite red bell peppers? You adore me so much. Whilst I finish this delightful dish you made, tell me more about yourself. Why don't you? How was your life before traveling here to the Isles? Looks like you've been through a journey and back. Fortunately for you, you won't have to worry about any of that for a while here. That was delicious. Most likely will keep me fueled for the rest of the day. I eat quicker than humans, so of course I would be able to finish a large serving in less than a minute or so. Besides, my stomach is much larger than a human's. Something interesting about me that I figured out was that some organs of mine are from humans and dragons. So for example, my stomach is from a dragon, yet my brain is from a human. It gives me lots of advantages, yet some disadvantages, like being unable to ride a bicycle. Not like I would really need to utilize one, but for its entertainment purposes, I have to miss out on the opportunity. Now that that's over, I feel like now is a good time to set up a bath. It'll give me time to really calm down and relax on this quote-unquote day off. Lead the way then. Just a hypothetical. Say you were fired right now. What would you do once you leave the castle and you get evicted from the Isles? I see. As I said before, you must not worry. There will come a time later this conversation will appear. But now, do not worry about being evicted or fired. You are in safe hands, I assure you. No. After you, I insist. Of course. Surely you don't have me being in such a vulnerable state like this. Having you as my lovely servant includes assisting me and always protecting me from anyone who dares try and attack me, even a fellow dragon. It is also impossible to trust such a population on the Isles, especially with the growing numbers. The perfect temperature. You've done nothing but good work today. Perhaps I shall grant you a bigger reward than normal. Perhaps a nicer meal, or even a pet to keep. Don't get too ahead of yourself, though. I'm only considering it. It's not necessarily a guarantee. However, it's most likely will turn into a guarantee if you keep up the nice work, which I'm more than certain you'll do. Anyway, do you have any more questions about your half-human, half-dragon king? Anything at all? It'll be less uncomfortable for both of us if we continuously stare at each other in silence while I rest in the tub. How do I feel about being a king? I suppose it feels just like any other job. I can see why it would be very stressful, but with the dragons and other hybrids I encounter, they all seem to be nonchalant. I do not seem to be worried about anyone unless a report is given to me by other servants. Usually they're minuscule issues such as broken wing or burned down tree. Other than that, I don't see why I must be stressed or fearful for prolonged periods of time. No one dares step up to me for any reason. And if they do, I have more than enough materials and money to shut them up quicker than a mouse in front of a dragon's fang. However, the label of a king doesn't feel right to me. Of course, I am a king, with the proper crown, scepter, and throne. But the social label, I do not believe in it. Why? Well, it just provides an opportunity to change the label to tyrant quicker. Once that happens, the outcome usually involves an overthrown king or a beheaded one. I prefer to be neither. But it's more than too late to change the system. Multiple centuries have passed, so it's practically impossible to even bring up the simple idea. Besides, there's no use. Cycle recurs every time, regardless of circumstances. It will happen to me eventually. I have to face it. My father, my grandmother, great-grandfather, you name it, they all had to face similar punishments. All because of the same reasons. Because in all of the books I have searched, all led to practically nothing. No leads, no names, no nothing. I live in the unknown about the alleged tyrannical behaviors carried out by my family members. But yet, despite all the unknown and of what's to come, I sit back, relaxed in this bath. I control the fears and thoughts that come to my head. I replace those emotions with pridefulness for the hybrids and dragons. It's more beneficial for them than for me, anyway. The scaled isles wouldn't be where it was if it wasn't for me. I just continue the legacy they created out there. It's quite easy to find a replacement in case anything goes wrong. That is why I am not scared of death. If I know that this land will be safer after me, then there's no reason to fear anything. I hate the king label. It gives a sense of superiority. Sure, it does give me pride. I need to lead, but without it, I am no king. I'm a coward. But I must ask you, because I've rambled a bit too long. Have you ever placed yourself in such a pressuring position you just cease to solve problems left and right? Well, I've never had to worry about that as a king. Ever since I was given this position, I pride myself on being brave and fearless. If I show any sort of fear to others, then we will grow weaker by the second. We cannot afford to show weakness. Not now. I digress. Though, there was another event. It may be too early to discuss this matter, but without disclosing too much. There has been a time where I was placed in a position that I had no choice but to swallow my sweats and fears to prove that I was worthy of staying alive. That was the only time I had ever shown that side of me. Anyway, that is enough. of the bath. I've learned a lot about myself, and I hope you have learned about me as well. I can take myself up to the throne room. Feel free to relax for the rest of the day. Thank you for listening to me. I hope to converse more with you another day. Perhaps you could learn more about me, since you seem so fascinated hearing me speak to you up close. I hope you'll be excited to receive such an invitation. That is all. Take care. I suppose that talking to my servant was more than a good idea. I should invite them more often. Perhaps have a longer, deeper conversation to build my trust in them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching, with a special thanks to my patrons who you can see on screen and in the description. With a special thanks to Best Boy Pippi, Pipperoo, Sakura Mochizuki, Val, Vox Calamity, Dear Embraced, Kagome Woods, Jessica, Kaz, Micaiah Roll, Francois Canal, Yuki H, Tiger Mori, Mint Aurora, Lies, Lady Knight, Pom Yoni, Lindsay Starr, Iris Towers, Veronica Mayday, Pocky, Jahimi Nanami, Christmas Artist, and Core the Owl Lady.